Welcome to the Graceful Alliance podcast, where faith and mental health meet. I'm your host, Keisha, a licensed professional clinical counselor and the founder of Graceful Alliance. I'm so glad you've tuned in today because we're going to talk about a topic many of us face but few of us admit: ministry fatigue when leaders feel empty. Yes, even the most anointed leaders get tired. And if you've ever poured from an empty cup, led while emotionally drained, or smiled through silent exhaustion, this episode is for you. Let's talk about the signs, the sources, and the soul care that can help bring restoration to weary leaders. Ministry fatigue doesn't usually show up all at once. It creeps in slowly, masked as a busy season or just needing a vacation, but behind closed doors, you might feel numb, irritable, disconnected from the God you serve, or even bitter toward the people you're serving. Here's what ministry fatigue can look like. You dread Sunday mornings. You struggle to pray for yourself, but can intercede for everyone else. You avoid calls and texts because you just can't deal right now. You feel guilty for needing rest. If any of that sounds familiar, hear me. You're not weak, you're human. And leadership doesn't erase your limits, it highlights them. Let's explore the root causes. Ministry fatigue often stems from overfunctioning, taking on more than God assigned you. Poor boundaries, saying yes out of guilt instead of obedience, unprocessed grief or trauma, especially if you're always the one helping others process theirs. Spiritual malnourishment, leading from a place of obligation, not overflow, and neglected rest rhythms, not honoring Sabbath, silence, or solitude. I want to share something personal here. I want you to know that there are times where I am extremely exhausted doing so much in the church. And there are times I have to pull away. I have to focus on Keisha and get a break. God never called us to be burnt out saviors. Jesus is the one who saved. We serve. So there's a big difference. Here's how you can start refilling your soul. Pause to assess. Ask yourself, what's draining me? What's feeding me? Practice boundaries. No is holy, no is anointed, and no is sometimes obedient. Seek safe spaces. You need people who can hold your story without expecting a sermon. Prioritize spiritual intimacy. Not just study for others, but quiet moments with God for yourself. And normalize therapy. Mental health care is not a lack of faith, it's a form of stewardship. And honor rest. Even Jesus rested. If you're empty today, I want to remind you God sees you. You are not forgotten. He invites you to come away and rest, not because you're failing, but because He cares. Let's get practical this week. Block out an hour for yourself, not for church, not for others, just for you. Reach out to someone you trust and say, I'm tired. Can we talk? And continue listening to this podcast. Ministry is sacred, but so is your soul. God called you to serve, not to suffer in silence. This episode spoke to you. Share it with another leader who might be feeling empty too. And also encourage them to purchase my book at www.gracefulalliance.org, where we dive into ministry burnout. Until next time, this is Keisha with Graceful Alliance Podcast. Stay grounded, stay whole, and remember, you don't have to do this by yourself.